Hi there, it's Moira McDonald. I hadn't planned on doing a video on this, but well, to be honest, it's nothing new. It's just I'm going to make a couple of Christmas cards, but someone had commented, is there any other distress inks other than Vintage Photo? And yes, there is, and I know we're all very guilty of not using them, so I thought I would do one and use a different colour in this particular instance. Now I'm going to do two cards. The first one is going to just be vintage, the second one's going to involve, it's not going to be vintage as such, it's going, in fact it's not vintage at all, it's going to be stamped. But in the interim, what I would like to do is just prepare, because this is going to be pretty similar to the one I made the other day, but I'm going to just prepare the bits that need to be painted first of all, so that we can get that done and out the way. Now I'm using another one of these Lumiere paints, hope you're getting that okay, and this one is called Metallic Russet, because I'm going to use, I hope this comes out okay with skirting everywhere. No, it's not going to. Right, we'll use, what we'll do is we'll use the pin this time rather than squirting it right across the room, because when I squirted it right across the room the other day I hit the radiator, which isn't ideal to be honest, because I didn't realise I'd hit the radiator until it had dried in, so I had to sit and try and pick it off before anybody saw it. Right, I'm going to use that too, and my wee bit of cut and dried foam that comes from Ranger. And I've got a wee bit of corrugated card again, and I'm just going over that because it gives it a nice wee metallic sheen. It just makes it interesting, as opposed to just a wee bit of corrugated card, which looks like a wee bit of corrugated card to be honest. I'll do this other wee bit, although I'm not sure if I'll use this in this particular card. I don't know if I'll need all of this. Right, that's that done. Now, my background isn't actually Christmas paper, it's just some kind of lined, oh, it almost looks like wallpaper, but it's not, it's scrapbooking paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, I'm going to use a bit of book page again, and I shall use, in this particular instance, I'm just going to use a bit of a storybook. To stick in the corner. Now I don't want to use, there's quite a lot of white on it, and I do, well when I say white, it's no white because it's aged quite considerably, but I don't want to have that amount on my actual card base, because I think it will look, wait a minute, I'm going to do my lines that way, I just think it will look kind of half done. Wait a minute, where's my glue? Oh. Sometimes you're that busy looking at things you don't see them. So what I'll do is run my glue along and down and round. And stick this on here somewhere and hope, have a look at it for the other side. And I think that's fine. Stick that down okay, and put my pin back in my glue just now until I cut off the bits I don't need. Some folk are saying as well that they can't hear me very clearly. I'm really sorry. I don't want to shout, because I think quite often in my videos there's more than enough noise with the dogs barking, so I certainly don't want to be bellowing at the camera, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Right, now I'm going to have that there, and I'm going to, I have die cut, it's a Tim Holtz die, and it's, I think it's intended to die cut your pages, and I used it in the last journal I did, the giveaway journal, but I'm going to use it here as well. just for a bit of background. I cut another bit of scrapbooking paper to use in this, so I'm going to just stick this down. Just give me a wee second because I need to concentrate when I'm doing the glue. Make sure my edges are caught okay. Don't want to overdo the glue, although it is a dry clear glue, so that helps in as far as it doesn't leave a big splurge once it's dry. It's not so noticeable. Right, pin back in the glue now. And I'll stick this in this corner. Now, there are some wee bits of glue, but they do dry clear, so I'm not overly worried about those at the moment. I think they'll be fine. And I don't know if you can hear the faint sound of the washing machine in the background. Right, let's stick this. No, wait a minute, I don't want that in that corner, I want that up there. Because when I stick my image on, I don't want it to be elevated by this. Now, the distress ink I'm going to use for this is Tattered Rose, and I have one of these wee foam pads that's predominantly pink shades that I use on it. Not always the same pink shade, but I don't want to end up with hundreds of these wee things all over my house, so I tend to just double them up, if you know what I mean, and use them for whatever purpose, you know, whatever ink. If it's pinks, then every pink, I can't even say it, pink ink that I use, I'll use the same one. Right, so I'm going to have that in this corner there, and I've gone round the edges. I will also go round the whole edges with pink once I'm done. Where's my glue again? So you can see, I mean, the majority of people, when they are doing the distressing, do tend to always use a shade of brown, and I can understand, but I mean, I do it myself, and part of it is laziness, because it's not as if I don't have the other colours. I don't have them all, because I think he's got like 63 shades or something. I don't have them all, but I do have quite a number, and I don't use them nearly often enough, but that's the way it goes. Right, that's that stuck down. Now, where did I put my wee image? I've got my image. I'll go round her as well. Now I'm going to use my wee bit of cut and dried and do a wee bit of this stenciling again with a kind of harlequin stencil, using this metallic russet shade, because I just think it's quite rich to add a wee bit of what do you call it, a wee bit of kind of sheeny metallic-y shine to your work. So I'm going to use that outside here, just try and hold it down, and again when I'm applying it I'm just dabbing it. I want to make it look kind of distressy. I don't want it to be screaming out, and depending on how well you apply it, you can either have excellent coverage, which would be very attractive, but maybe not in keeping with the distressed look. Right, I think that might do me. Aye, see, it's quite, hopefully you can see that, it's quite faded, and it does have a metallic sheen. Right, so we'll put that out the way, and we shall do a wee bit of stamping. And these are, I've got ink splodges, and I have a wee bit of text. Now I'm going to try and get it off the acetate. I'm going to use the Tattered Rose, and you'll see yourself it is really not a, it's not a real in your face colour. It's very very pale, and hopefully it'll show up okay. But it's really not, it is exceptionally vintage in a pink sort of way. Right, I'm going to hold it up to the camera and I'm hoping you can see the text. Just hold it to the light. Can you see it? It's quite faint. I'm going to do a wee ink splodge as well. Use my little ink splodge stamp, and these stamps came, I think, from Wish. I just put in vintage stamps, and you can see that quite pinkish up in the corner there, and we'll do another one. You might not see it there. Right, do that there. What I'll do is, I think, now I was going to add, get a little bit of lace cut here, and I was going to add that as well because I just thought it'll go quite well with a kind of vintage look. So we'll put that down the side. You don't need a ton of glue for these things. I mean, obviously you want to make it stick, but you don't need to have it swathed in glue. Now I don't want to pull this too tight to put it down because it's it feels as if it's not vintage, it's kind of stretchy, and the last thing I want to do is have it looking as if it's getting pulled. Scissors. Right. Pin in the glue again. Now, we'll leave that for a wee minute, try and move these wee bits of lace out the way. My wee image is my girl. I've used her on, I think, on a cover of one of the Christmas journals that I did. So I printed her off again and cut her out, and she's holding, I think, some holly with berries on it. I'm going to run round her with a little bit of this, sorry my fingers are a wee bit sticky. A wee bit of this Tattered Rose Distress ink. Tattered Rose is a really nice. There's also another one, I don't know what it's called, it might be Victorian Velvet, another pink one, but I've not got that one. But I should imagine it's very attractive because I like Tattered Rose. Do you know the only pink one that I really think, ew? Well, no, that's not true. There's a couple of pink ones that I really don't like. There's Spun Sugar, which is really, I feel, quite garish and not remotely associated with distress. It's real in your face pink, and I just don't like it at all. I don't think it's, I don't know why he did it, because it's no vintage as far as I'm concerned. And the other one I don't like is, I don't like worn lipstick. I've got that. I've got Spun Sugar and I've got worn lipstick, but sometimes you don't know you don't like them until you've seen them. But the worn lipstick, just, I'm sorry, there's something about that title that makes me think of Ladies of the Night. So I really, it's not my taste at all. I use it now and again. Now I'm distressing here, and you should see it on the the lace, the pink coming up. I'm just going to go over this like this so that I can get more of that pinkish hue on it. Because it really isn't very dark at all, the tarted rose. What I'll do is now I've got to stick down my lady. Pin back in. I'm going to stick her there at the bottom. Now I've still got my sentiment to do, I haven't cut that or printed it yet. I would quite like to just do something stamped, but to be honest I don't know how it's going to look. So, wait till we find where to put my sentiments. These are Essential Festive Sentiments by Phil Martin, Sentimentally Yours. And he's got one that says Bah Humbug. Now, I quite like Winter Wishes. But see, I like these Peace and Noel and all these things as well. And I don't know if... Oh, this is the first time I've used these. Oh no, wait a minute, hold on, does it fit that? Oh, I got a bit of the bigger one. Right, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stamp this on the actual thingy, but do a sentiment on a piece of card. So, in terms of ink, I don't want it to be very, very dark, so I'm going to use VersaFine Smoky Grey, and I'm going to, as they say, stamp it off. Just give me a bit of card over, and I'll... By stamping off, what I mean is I will stamp it in something else. Oops. Stamp it in something else first, so that it's not too dark, because I don't want a really dark image on the card. Just give me a second to be... It's quite a nice wee stamp. Right, get my mouse mat out so that I can... I don't know, I'm hoping you can see that okay, but it's quite faint in the corner there. There's also on this, there's a Joy, and I think I'll use Joy as well. I'd quite like to put Joy there, although Joy's quite big. Wait a minute, we could put Joy there. Alright, we will. Right, and we will ink it up. And stamp it off. And put it here. There you go, it's quite faint. That's fine, that's what I was looking for. Right, and now I've got to put those back. Wait a minute. Right, I liked Winter Wishes for this wee lassie. I'm hoping that card's big enough. Yes, it is. Now, I'm not stamping off this time because this is going to be my sentiment. It's going to be on a separate piece of card. So I'm going to ink it. And I'm going to get a wee bit of card. And then I'm going to write Winter Wishes on that. Try and make sure I get it straight. Right, happy with that. Lid back on the ink. Now, pair of scissors. I'm going to make it into a little banner because that wasn't a straight cut, so in the centre I'll cut up a little bit, maybe a wee bit more than that. Then I'll go from the corner to where I cut it, and from the corner to where I cut it, and that will do me. And now move my mouse mat out of the way. I'm going to distress it with the Tattered Rose. Very light hand, paying more attention to the edges, but the bottom line is I want to get the whole thing with a pinkish hue. Right, now I'm going to use little foam pads to pop it up. These ones are from Sticks 2. I tend to use, mostly I use ones from a company called Hunky Dory, which is a British company. And I bought, at one point I just bought an awful lot of them. So I'll be fighting my way through them for the next couple of years, I reckon. Now I'm also going to apply, I'm going to stick this to this corrugated card on the top, so I'm going to put a wee bit of glue on it to make sure it holds better, because obviously with it being corrugated card it's not going to have a flat surface along which this can rest. So what I don't want to do is put it on for it to be coming off. Wait a minute, my pin, it's got all caught up. There we go. Oh, you see this glue, it's got a life of its own at the moment. I think when you start to get towards the end of a glue bottle, it suppurates, as they say. Right, wait a minute till I check my hands before I touch anything. Right, I think we're okay. and it's partially on the corrugated card, partially below it. There you go, that's the actual panel itself. 2 minutes, Timmy Toots, and we are going to, I've cut from red card because I don't have any pink, but the red goes okay with it. A panel that is 1/8 of an inch bigger in order to mat and layer before it goes on the actual card itself. Don't need a ton of glue, but make sure you put it in enough places that it definitely stays on. Now, I haven't actually prepared the card yet to put this on, but I'm just going to do the panel just now and then do the card afterwards. There we go, that's that one done, and hopefully you can see that okay and caught the whole process. And I'll move it that way and you'll see the winter wishes and how it all blends in. So that's us using Tattered Rose Distress ink and not Vintage Photo, because other colours do exist. So, second card. This has got a much more modern feel to it. What I'm going to start doing is I'm introducing some Distress Oxides this time round. I plan to die cut a little sprig of mistletoe, and for that what I need to do is colour up some paper that I'm going to cut it from. So I'm going to use Iced Spruce Distress Oxide and Peeled Paint Distress Oxide. These tend to give you a more opaque colour of ink. Now my wee, this really looks a bit worse for wear, this one. My green one has clearly been used quite a bit. But such is life, do you know what I mean? Now, I'm using 2 colours of ink on the basis that I want to not have a sprig of mistletoe that's just one colour, if you like. I want it to be kind of, well, you know, realistic, because generally speaking when you look at plants there is a bit of variegation in the colour of their leaves. So I'll put down the iced spruce first, and then I'm going to add the peeled paint. I did have another green colour of Distress Oxide, cracked pistachio, but it's one of those in your face colours, and just really, I think it would be too vibrant for what I'm really looking for in this particular card. Can I get the lid off? Oh, there we go. So I don't want to overdo it here. I just want a bit of difference between the greens, and you can certainly notice a difference in the greens when you look at this. I'm going to go over that again with Distress Oaks, this Iced Spruce. It won't actually do the, they don't really get cross-contaminated as such. That's fine, that'll do me. That's green enough. Now, I need to die cut my thingy, but I'm going to leave that for a minute to let that, it tends to be quite a wet ink, so I'm going to let it dry for a minute. This is the panel that the card is going to go on, and what I've done is I've put a piece of masking tape in the centre that I cut, a circular one that I cut, and I am going to go around that with just normal Distress ink, tumbled glass, a blue one this time, because there's more than just Vintage Photo. So get some on my wee tumbled glasses, generally speaking a relatively pale shade, so it's not going to be completely and utterly in your face. Now I'm going to go round. I want it on the outskirts of my card, if you like, because it's just going to be providing a bit of colouring round about. Ultimately the die cut, when I take off the masking paper, the die cut will go in the centre of this card, and then round the edge where this blue is going I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So first and foremost, get my background colour on it. It doesn't need to be incredibly well blended, simply because there is going to be something else put, you know, stamping on top of it, so you're not going to be staring at it quite to the point where you think, well, she could have done a better job there. Right, I think that'll do us on the ink blending front. Now I'm going to get a wipe, just give me a wee second. I should have been organised here. Need to wipe this a wee bit. Not going to do anything else here. I'll leave that to dry for a minute and just wipe my fingers. What I'm going to do next is the die cut. Now, move my big shot into play. Just move my ruler out there. Ooh. If I play my cards right here, I can possibly get a couple of these out of this, with any luck, and I can make a couple of cards, because these cards are for my own use, if you like, the cards that I'll be sending from myself to other people. I think that's well enough cut. That's fine. I'm going to cut another one. I might actually, I don't know, I'll see how it looks on the card, but I might use two on the card. That's us done with the cutting, I think. Now, aye. Now, someone had asked me about this the other day. It's the Spellbinders 2-in-1, and what it's for is helping to push out your die cuts, and it is quite a handy wee tool. Thingme make one Sizzix, and I bought a Sizzix one because it was a lot cheaper, and the first time I used it, it broke. And I couldn't use it again, so it wasn't worth it. I think I was just unlucky, to be fair, because touchwood, I've never had any other bother with Sizzix stuff. It's always been reasonable. Now, the Sizzix one came with this wee foam pad, which again is really useful, because what you're meant to do is go over this, and in theory it loosens out your die, and you don't damage it. So there's the die. Can you see that okay? Now this one's out, but my wee thingy's having to come out. The wee holes for the berries. You got a wee pokey tool on one end. My wee pokey tool, of course, has got bent with the amount of hoo-ha I've done. I try to be really gentle with things, but every now and again you lose the rag and you bend metal. Right, that's fine. Right, so die over there. I'm going to take this and all these wee dots and get them in the bin, because if I don't, my dogs will be eating them. So bear with me just a second until I get rid of them, then we'll get back to the card. Right, that's that. So, so we've got our panel that we're going to be stamping on, and I need to find my stamps. Here we go. These are another one of these things that came from Wish, and they appear to be wee, you've got wee bits of mistletoe, you've got holly with berries, and you've got pine cones and things like that, and that's what I'm going to use on this. The other thing is, before I forget, I forgot yesterday and I didn't open my Advent, whatever it was that Caroline called it. I lost the number one. I was looking all through the parcel and I couldn't find a number one, and then I found a parcel that didn't have a number on it, but there was an indentation of a one. So we'll open that, and inside we have a napkin and some very interesting Christmas Day decoupage paper. That is a very useful thing. The napkin is, oh, tartan napkins. I've said to Caroline before, I have terrible bother with tartan, trying to get it straight, but that will prove quite useful, because the next time I do a Scottish thing, that will be going in it, and this will certainly, I might be able to use that for Christmas, but I doubt it. I don't think the cards I'm making will suit that, but that can get used next year. I'm going to fold this away. And we can open number 2. And number 2's, I like these big paper clips as well, they'll go quite well. It's a little envelope with, oh, little, what do you call them? Well, no sequins, I don't know what you call them. I've got them, not that size. I've got ones that are slightly bigger than that. It's, well, do you know, I was thinking of making a shaker card at some point, and these would probably be ideal to use in that. So that's again a very useful thing. Well done, Caroline, you're doing well then. I like your envelope paper as well. I'm holding on to that because that's going to get stuck together. I'm going to put the paper clips on it to hold it in place, but I'm saving that as well because that's getting used, honey buns, as are these, and my napkin and my, what do you call it, my piece of decoupage paper. I actually have some decoupage paper, but I don't have any good Christmassy stuff, so that's really, really useful. Right, let's get onto this card. So what I want to do is I want to stick these, or not stick them, I want to stamp them round the edge. So I have dug out a couple of greens and a brown. The brown is for the little pine cones, so I'm going to try and make sure that all I do is the pine cones. And the green for the leaves. This is quite awkward, so I'm hoping this really comes out okay. I should have stuck my trusty mouse mat below this. That's fine. Can you see that okay? Get my mouse mat in for the next ones. Because I'm just basically going to go around the whole image doing pretty much the same thing. I do have some just sprigs that I'll use for filling in any gaps that I leave. Oh, sorry. Now that's going to go slightly over the masking paper, which means it won't eat into the circle that I'm going to want in the middle here. I'm not stamping very well in one particular bit here, and I'm going to try and fix that, because that's annoying me. I'm having to do this by artificial light, which is not ideal, believe you me. That's okay. I'll try and fix that one a wee bit as well. Nope, still not done that as well as I would have liked. It's fine. Dent there. You've got to be very careful when you're doing this, to try not to get the wrong colour in the wrong place, sort of thing. Right, now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to use, I've got ones that are just sprigs of the leaves, and I'm going to use those. So, just to fill in some wee gaps. Sorry, I'm going quiet, and it's because I'm concentrating to some extent to make sure I get things the way I want them. That needs more ink. And that'll do this. Right, I don't think we'll be stamping any more of those, so I can put those back in the thing. I do have some wee pine cones on their own, so I can stamp some of them, just dot them about through my tree that I've created. That'll do us in that front, I think. Right. Wait a minute, I took a smaller pine cone off. I can maybe put on some wee pine cones somewhere. Loving that, loving it. Phew, right. Now, make sure my hands are clean. What I want to do is, I want to lift up my mask in the middle, if I can get it off. There we go. And that has left me with, I'm just putting it back on the protective paper if I can, although I don't know if I'll use it again. It's left that quite pale, but that's okay, because what we want to do is I want to stick that on, and I'm going to put a wee bow on it, and I could actually put the sentiment, I can barely speak, sentiment below it. Now move my wee thing. This says Christmas greetings. It's very small print actually. But I'm going to put this on. I'm going to stamp it down here, still inside my circle. I want it to make sure it's straight. Hopefully it's straight. If it's not, I'll need to correct this. Christmas greetings, that'll do us. Put that back on the stamp thing. Now, I want to stick this down. Get my glue. That wee bell's to let me know my dinner's ready. I'm cooking a chicken. Put that down there. Right. Temporary, I'm putting that on that just to hold that die cut down. Temporary pause while I put my dinner off. So, dinner's out of the oven and I'm back. Right, so I have a little kind of tartany Christmassy bow that I'm going to put on my, what do you call it, my mistletoe. I'm also going to use Wink of Stella, which is a kind of glittery style pen. Wait a minute, I'll do the Wink of Stella thing first. Wink of Stella comes in all sorts of different colours. This is clear, but you can get it in colours, and it just basically provides a sheen over anything you paint it over. A bit like using Perfect Pearls. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera and hope that you can see it, although it's very difficult to tell because of the lighting. I'm really sorry, but I'm having to work by artificial light because it's so dull outside. Right, that's it anyway. That's basically how you do that. Put that in the pen bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mat this up first and get it on the card. I've picked out some blue pearlescent card to mat it on, and I've cut that 1/8 of an inch bigger than this, so there'll be a 1/16 of an inch all the way around the card. I think there's enough from that. That's fine. Stick that wee stamp to that so I don't lose it. Now I have my card. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to use stickles. I've got Crystal Ice Stickles glitter glue, and I'll be using that where the wee berries should be, but I want to stick this on the card first if I can find where I put the card, because I know I've got it. I know I cut the card. No, wait a minute, find out. Got my card prepared earlier, so all I need to do is get that stuck to that, and then I can do my stickles, put my bow on, and that'll be me with this card. So we'll put the glue on here. Right, that's fine. Put my pin back in my glue. Oh, that was silly. Put my pin back in my glue and I've still got that wee boaty pin on. Right, wait a minute, I'll just use a blob of Fabri-Tac for that. Not for any reason other than I've just stuck that pin in. You only need a wee tiny bit because it's just, this is just glitter glue and it will dry, and it doesn't dry with any like, you know, it's no dome shaped or anything like that. It'll just be sparkly. Got a nice big blow bit at the end. Get that off. Right, that's us. That's that card, and I'm quite happy with that. Quite a different style. Wait till we get the, that's the envelope that's going to be going with that one. Put that there. This is the original card I did earlier, or in, well, it's in this video, but you know what I mean. That's the other card. So as you can see, quite different styles, very, very different styles. Vintage, modern, but everything is relatively easy if you just stop and think, and there's no reason why you can't adapt that to something else, some other sort of stamping that's Christmassy related, and that's easy enough to replicate. Hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a wee bit different, but I really, more than anything, I had to make the cards myself, and I just thought I'd film it because someone had asked me about different colours of distress ink, so I wanted to make a point of, yes, you can very much use different colours of distress ink. I've used greens in that mistletoe, I used blues, in fact that was distress oxide, that was just normal distress ink in blue, tumbled glass, and here I used the pink distress ink, it was tattered rose. I also stamped a couple of those wee pine cones on that Winter Wishes banner, by the way. Right, that's my cards, so I hope you liked them. Please leave comments, and I will see you on Wednesday if I don't see you beforehand, and at that point I'll be doing the draw for my my journal that was the giveaway. So thanks for your time guys, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!